All right, final game in the Big 12. Let's stay with Texas Tech and West Virginia that we just mentioned earlier. This
Take me
line,
home, country roads. Go ahead.
oh,
Sorry, I
very
just had
good.
to
That
say
was, that
it.
was very well done. Very well done by you. This line surprised me a little bit. 7.
What is this line?
West Virginia's favored by 7. Its
Yeah.
offense can't get going. Defense showed itself that it might be really good again. It was last year one of the top defenses in the country. It was against Oklahoma. It was against Maryland after the first couple of drives. It was against Virginia Tech late when it needed a defensive stop. So this is a defensive-driven Mountaineer team going against Texas Tech that I'm not sure they even go to defensive meetings. I'm not
Nope.
sure they put on defensive film. They are really struggling defensively. And that's not just because they gave up 70 to Texas. This team struggles defensively, but the offense is doing some nice things. Tyler Shuck, their starting quarterback, the Oregon transfer, is out. Broken collarbone. He went out last week. But never fear, Red Raider fans, Henry Colombi coming in. That's right, Henry Colombi, who came to Texas Tech from Utah State, got his first start as a Red Raider last year against West Virginia and got the win against them. Neil Brown, the West Virginia coach, is a former Texas Tech assistant, and he has not beaten Texas Tech while at West Virginia. If there was a game that Neil Brown could circle on his calendar, it's this one against Texas Tech. He feels the last 2 against them have gotten away. So there's some coach motivation. Does that transfer to players coming off that near miss at Oklahoma? Total sitting, where do you have the total right now? At 56, 57?
Let's see. 55.5 is more
going down.
Or 56. Okay. Yeah, it's going down. Yes.
Yeah. So again, when you're talking about West Virginia, you've got to look under, but I've got a couple little ways to maybe play this, but overall thoughts, Texas Tech getting a touchdown at West Virginia.
So my first question to you is this: what's the mood around town, and what do you think the mood is around the team after, being that close to upsetting Oklahoma at Oklahoma? Is it deflated? Is it like, man, the season's over? Or like, is it, wow, we almost beat Oklahoma. If not for a bad snap, we would have probably driven down and had a shot to kick a field goal, and then they would have had to beat us and either tie it late, win in overtime, or, drive for a winning score. Because I took away that it was a positive. Like that from the outside, you're right there in the heart of it. What is the mood for you and the team? Stuff like that.
I think your take is right. I think the take from inside that locker room isn't a dejected, even though that was a massive missed opportunity for West Virginia to get a chance to win over an Oklahoma program that's on its way out of that league, a top 5 road win. I think West Virginia looks and says, hey, listen, we were right there against Maryland, but we turned it over 4 times. We beat a ranked Virginia Tech team that came in here, and we just had a top 5 Oklahoma, and we shot ourselves in the foot again, or we would have had another win over them. I think this has bonded them. I think they're ready to go. Like, get us out there. Let's play again against a Texas Tech team that we said just had 70 hung on them and is coming in here with a backup quarterback. Although I'm not sure they lose a lot in that quarterback situation. Colombi was great last week in a loss, and I know they were coming from behind. 3 more touchdown passes for him. Their offense is probably going to move it, but this West Virginia defense is very, very good.
My first thought is this. Normally, after a team gets destroyed like Texas Tech did in the book, you go, oh, this team's going to cover the next week. Like, they're not as bad as they looked, and Texas ran it up, and they, kind of took it out on them. I think West Virginia does the same thing. I'm usually one to say, yeah, give me the dog and this and that. I'm not. When I saw 7.5, I said, ooh, they're trying to get you to take that Texas Tech. They're trying to put that little hook out there. Know what? We're winning this thing by double digits. That's what I'm thinking. Just looking at the number. And again, I ain't seen one play at Texas Tech, but a lot of times that's better. I'm just looking at the numbers. Numbers are telling me, and I always say this, the line tells a story. The story that this one's telling me is West Virginia wins and covers this game by double digits. Texas Tech struggles to score offensively again against a pretty good defense in West Virginia. And, it may take a little while to get out ahead of them, but once they do, and they can pin their ears back and go after Texas Tech, we get a couple turnovers, and before you know it, you cover the teaser as well.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at that from what the number's telling you, because I think if you're not taking that approach, you look at that and say, I don't know that West Virginia's offense is in a position where it can cover more than a touchdown, but I understand what you're saying there from a line, and that makes a lot of sense. Let me give you one last thing on this game, and we'll move to our highest total of the week. Keep an eye on what the number is for the second half under, a second half team total. West Virginia has only scored 9 second-half points in its 3 FBS games this season.
Wow.
3 in each of them. It is a team that is not scoring in the second half, even going back to last year. So that's where I say I like the full game under until this shows me it can be a shootout again. I know that gets scary with a Texas Tech defense there, but if that second half number's in range, you might want to keep an eye on your book and look at second half number. West Virginia's not scoring a lot in the second half.
That's pretty strong. That's only 9 points. That's the
in 3 games.
A little bit on adjustments. That's not good. I don't like that. We better have a halftime lead of 7 or more. If we're going to lay 7.5 points, I hope we're leading by 10 at halftime, because now I'm like, oh, that might be a buyback opportunity on Texas Tech. You're going to have to text me on Saturday about that one. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.